Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is lesson 458. The title of today's lesson is the difference between classic and classical. Okay, let's take a look at the board here. Okay, if someone wants a screenshot, good, let's get right into it. Classic can be both an adjective and a noun. Classical is only an adjective. Okay, the first meaning of classic is used to refer to something that is a good example of something, or something that remains popular and has long-lasting value and influence. This is one of the most common and main ways to use the word classic. It is often used with novels, like a classic novel, song, play, programs, TV programs or whatever, etc. So we always say something is classic. So a really good example of it that lasts, has long-lasting value. It is classic in that sense, or a classical thing, or a classic thing. Okay. Classic could also be used with styles of clothes or furniture that are attractive in a simple way that is always in fashion. So again, it is classic in this sense. Classic can also be used to simply mean something that is typical. Okay. As a noun, it means an outstanding, typical example, as in the classics. We sometimes say that. Let's continue. Classical is used to refer to things of a traditional or good standard or style, especially from ancient times. So that's one of the key parts here, ancient times, particularly during Greek and Roman times, or during that period. Okay, good. Classical is also used to refer to the ancient languages of Latin and, the old traditional Greek. So we sometimes say classical Greek. Okay, good. Classical also refers to classical music too. Remember, classical music, that's the one that comes from Europe, in the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, around that time, and has no words, so no lyrics are in it too. Famous people like Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, Tchaikovsky, people like this. This is what we mean by classical music. All right, let's continue. And, well, we have 8 examples to show, and I think we got 4 and 4 here. So here's the first one. That Beatles song is a classic. Well, again, a typical, so you could have a classic rock song. See, this is tricky for people too, because the word classic and classical are both used for music. But classical only refers to that period of time. In Europe, 16, 17, 1800s, around that time, and those artists. But here, this is the Beatles. So the Beatles, they have a classic rock song, or classic. So number 2 here, Michelle is a classic Beatles song. So, it's still popular today. Oh, Michelle, my belle, that song, it's classic. So that's not classical, it's classic. Okay, let's continue. Number 3 here, wearing a tuxedo to the Oscars is a classic style for men. So remember, we use it for clothes, furniture. We use it for fashion. That's, again, a good example of something that has long-lasting value. It's always considered to be good quality. Then we say it is classic. Okay, good. Let's go on. Beethoven and Mozart are classical artists. Yeah, because that comes from classical music. So they are classical artists. They are not classic artists, they are classical artists. Okay, let's continue. This is a classic example of what not to do. So this is like a typical example. So sometimes classic means something that's typical. All right, number 6 here. He studied both classical Greek and modern Greek. So again, referring to the languages, of Latin or the old Greek language. Number 7 here. The story of Achilles and Helen of Troy come from classical mythology, so not classic mythology, but classical mythology, from the ancient times, relating to ancient times, especially Greek and Roman times. Okay, and number 8 here, the classical architecture of the Colosseum is worth seeing. Yeah, so again, also coming from ancient times or ancient Rome. Okay, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it's clear. I hope you got a much better feel of when you should use the word classic and when you should use classical now. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.